نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم وأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن المسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات والقانتين والقانتات والصادقين والصادقات والصابرين والصابرات والخاشعين والخاشعات والمتصدقين والمتصدقات والصائمين والصائمات والحافظين فروجهم والحافظات والذاكرين الله كثيرا والذاكرات أعد الله لهم مغفرة وأجرا عظيما. Respectful friends, in the verse that has been recited to you, as you may have gauged, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned some qualities of the believers. And in this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the mu'mineen and the mu'minat, the muslimin, muslimat, qaniteen, qanitat. Meaning both the men and the women have been mentioned in this verse. And the reason for the revelation of this verse is that on one occasion, Sayyidina Salma radiallahu ta'ala anha, one of the beloved wives of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, asked and mentioned this to Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that how come we as women, we are not being addressed by Allah Ta'ala in the Qur'an. And it is mentioned with regards to some other Sahabiyat as well, Asma bint Umays, and others who also asked Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam a similar question. As you will know or notice that in the Qur'an, Allah Ta'ala has only made the mention of one female, and that is Sayyidina Maryam. Aside from Sayyidina Maryam, Allah Ta'ala has not made mention by name of any female. There is mention of Wamratu Nuh, Wamratu Lut, that the wives of Wamratu Fir'aun, Wamratu Imran, the wife of these people. But Allah Ta'ala doesn't take their names. The name specifically hasn't been mentioned. The only name mentioned is that of Sayyidina Maryam. And the reason for that is because Isa ibn Maryam, ascribing to us Isa, the son of Maryam, as there was no father there. For that reason only Allah Ta'ala mentions Sayyidina Maryam. When Sayyidina Hawa or Sayyidina Maryam's name is taken, it is very common, and it is a common error, that people say alayhi salam, whereas Sayyidina Maryam is not alayhi salam. Sayyidina Hawa is not alayhi salam, as they were not prophets. So it is best to just say radiallahu ta'ala anha with them, and not say Sayyidina Hawa alayhi salam, because they were not prophets. No female was made a prophet. So this is a common error and mistake that you find. Sayyidina Maryam's name has been taken, but no other female name has been taken. Which in actual fact shows the position of women, the honor of women, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even in the Qur'an has kept that hijab over their direct names and mention of them as well. But they are addressed in the Qur'an as well. That wherever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, Ya ayyuhan nas, Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu. Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu, the amanu includes the females, although it is in the masculine plural. So Allah Ta'ala utilizes the masculine and that to the plural form So that already includes the women, believing women, in all the mention that Allah Ta'ala makes with regards to believers. But here this question arose, yesterday Salma asked Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that why is it that Allah Ta'ala has made mention of the believing women of us in the Qur'an? She says, not long after that, she says she was in her chamber in her home, and she was combing her hair, that she heard Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Ta'ala Sallam stand on the mimbar, and Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam summoned the Sahaba, as Nabi Sallallahu would do, that when any revelation would come, any rulings would come, any ahkamat would come, Nabi Sallallahu would come on the mimbar and gather the Sahaba and mention it. So she says she heard Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, so she quickly straightened her hair and came out of her private chamber into the house section so that she can listen to it, because their homes were attached to Masjid Nabawi, so that she could hear what Nabi Sallallahu is saying. And she says that Nabi Sallallahu stood on the mimbar and Nabi Sallallahu recited this verse. And just not long after she had raised this question that how come there is no mention of us in the Quran, Allah doesn't mention us as in women directly. On that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed this verse. In this verse Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions some qualities of the believers. There isn't much tafsir on it, and as the time is late as it is, and the next verses have its own tafsir which needs more time. Hence have restricted it to just this one verse. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here says, Inna al-Muslimina wal-Muslimat. Indeed the believing, or Allah Ta'ala says the Muslim men and the Muslim women, wal-Mu'minina wal-Mu'minat, the believing men and women, wal-Qanitina wal-Qanitat, and the obedient men and the obedient women, wal-Sadiqina wal-Sadiqat, and the truthful men and the truthful women. And continues, wal-Sabirina wal-Sabirat. And the patient, the men who are patient and the women who are patient, وَالْخَاشِعِينَ وَالْخَاشِعَاتِ, the humble men and humble women, وَالْمُتَصَدِّقِينَ, the charitable men and charitable women, and muتصدقات, وَالصَّائِمِينَ وَالصَّائِمَاتِ, the fasting men and women, and then وَالْحَافِظِينَ فُرُوجَهُمْ وَالْحَافِظَاتِ, those men who and women, chaste men and chaste women, and those men who remember Allah Ta'ala, and those women who remember Allah Ta'ala, and that too, kathira, abundantly. عَدَّ اللَّهُ لَهُمْ مَغْفِرَةً وَأَجْرًا عَظِيمًا. Allah has prepared forgiveness and an immense reward for them. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions these few qualities. Allah Ta'ala mentions, إِنَّ الْمُسْلِمِينَ وَالْمُسْلِمَاتِ وَالْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ. Allah Ta'ala mentions Muslim men, Muslim women, and then Allah Ta'ala mentions the mu'mineen and mu'minat. And the fact that Allah Ta'ala mentions them both in the same verse indicates towards the fine difference between Islam and Iman. Because this has always remained a form of a debate, but moreover it's more just to do with definition than anything else, of whether there is a difference between Islam and Iman, between a Muslim and a Mu'min. That is a Muslim, a Mu'min, Muslim is a difference between Islam and Iman. And there are those who are of that opinion that where Allah Ta'ala mentions them, in actual fact a Muslim and a Mu'min are the same. And there are those who are of opinion that there is difference. The difference is very fine. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions them differently in the Quran as well. And then there is that principle which is, you can say, the defining principle, and that is إِذَا اجْتَمَعَ تَفَرَّقَا وَإِذَا افترقا اجْتَمَعَ. That when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions both Islam and Iman together in one verse, then it refers towards separate meanings. And where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions Iman separately somewhere and Islam separately, it means the same. And here, this verse as well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions them both together in the same verse of Muslimin and Muslimat and Mu'mineen and Mu'minat. Shows the difference here, the Muslim men and Muslim women and the Mu'mineen men and Mu'mineen women. Mu'mineen and Mu'minat refers to those who have Iman. And Muslimin and Muslimat refers to those who don't just have Iman, but they actually have Iman in their practical life as well. That Islam is the manifestation of Iman. That how do you know that a person has Iman? You'll know by their outward submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That how they carry out the ibadat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and through the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, their way of life is what Islam is, which will show that they are believers. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here addresses both the believing men and women and the Muslim men and women. Although in Muslimin, the plural, women are included in it as it is, but here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions them separately. And then Allah ta'ala mentions وَالْقَانِتِينَ وَالْقَانِتَاتِ. Another quality of a believer is what? The obedient men and the obedient women. Qaniteen, the qanitat refers towards a person being obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can have Iman, but not every mu'min or mu'mina, every person who has Iman is obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is dedicated to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Qaniteen, qanitat are those who are obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So those men who are also obedient and those women who are also obedient. And this is what Iman is, this is the whole point of Iman is. That when we have said that we have Iman, we have recited the kalima la ilaha illallah, it means what? That we shall be obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This was taught in the Qanit is that we are obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is how a believer should be. That not they are obedient to their own nafs and desires. They say they believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but they're not obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very important. وَالصَّادِقِينَ وَالصَّادِقَاتِ. Truthful men and truthful women. Again here, truthfulness is such a quality which is something that is accepted amongst every people. Meaning that there are those who may not have Iman, because they do not have Iman, they do not like certain qualities of believers, especially when it comes to modesty, chastity, when it comes to being obedient and that, we should be free to do what we want. Why should we have to be submitting to anybody? Why do we have to be obedient to anybody? But when it comes to truthfulness, every faith and non-faith as well regard this to be a good quality of being truthful. And even in the days of Jahiliyyah, any prior to Islam, when there were many evil and bad qualities in people, bad habits in people, even during those days in that time, lies, not being truthful was something which was frowned upon, which was something which was greatly disliked. Which shows that when this is something that society itself accepts, and society wants that people are truthful, then if a person is a believer and that believer is not truthful, then this shows that how poor they are in their believing. So this is a quality that every person likes, and all the more a believer, meaning a believing man and a believing woman, should have in them the quality of truthfulness. And Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mentions that sidq is something which is goodness, and all goodness leads towards Jannah. Whereas in kiz, lies is what? It is futur. And all futur yahdi ila nar, lead towards the fire of Jahannam. And a person speaks a lie or he speaks truthfulness to the extent that he becomes from the sadiqeen, And then there is that person who speaks a lie, he speaks a lie, he continues to speak a lie until he becomes from those who are the liars. Meaning that sidq is something that when a person develops the quality of truthfulness, then he becomes from the sadiqeen. Ya ayyuhalladheena amanu taqullaha wa kunu ma sadiqeen. The sadiqeen meaning the truthful ones. And they are those who are truthful externally and internally at all. This is what a truthful person is. So truthfulness should be from the quality of a believer. وَالصَّابِرِينَ وَالصَّابِرَاتِ صَابِرَاتِ, the obedient men and obedient women have the quality of obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as well as exercising sabr. Something that I had mentioned in the Wednesday majlis and to continue with as well, which is what the darajat, the types and stages of sabr. And when it comes to sabr, to exercise patience, sabr is of three types. As-sabr al-musiba, which is a common one which we relate to. That to have sabr and patience at the time of any musib. So we all understand this, that this is what sabr is. And as-sabr in the sadmatil ula. Sabr is when a person is grieving, or when the hardship, the difficulty, the pain, the loss is fresh. That is the time that a person needs to exercise sabr. As later on a person is going to then eventually gain sabr. As Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed by a grave and there was a lady there and she was crying away, she had lost a child. And Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave her the lesson and talqeen of sabr. She didn't know this was Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She didn't recognize Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And it isn't far-fetched because there were many who knew and heard of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam but had not seen Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Just the way when Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam migrated to Makkah to Madinah al-Munawwara, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala, when they were together, when the Ansar saw them and were told that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam has arrived, and when they came to meet Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, at that time they had mistaken Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq to be Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the reason for this is because Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala looked a little older. He looked a little older. His hair were more white than that of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, although he was 2 years younger than Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So they didn't know who Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was. And on the journey itself, there were those people who met Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, met Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala, they recognized Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq, but they didn't recognize who Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was. And how they recognized Abu Bakr Siddiq was because Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala would go on various trips, business trips. So due to those business trips, people recognized him on the road, they knew who he was. But Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, people did not know who he was. They had heard of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but they didn't know by face, so the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam would not be seen on these type of travels. So people en route from Makkah to al-Munawwara recognized Abu Bakr Siddiq, but they did not recognize Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So here for this lady to not recognize Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it wasn't far-fetched at all. It is only afterwards that she was told that that was Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's when she came to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam's house and I didn't recognize who you are. That's when Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said this, look, as-sabr in the sadmatil ula. Sabr is when the pain and the wound is fresh. Once it heals, and now I've got sabr now, I'm having sabr, I'm dealing with sabr, I'm exercising sabr, well, that's naturally you're going to have sabr now. That is what sabr is, as-sabr in the musibah. The other is as-sabr ala ta'a. Sabr upon the ta'a, the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then when the time comes to carry out the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a person bears the hardship with patience. That is also what sabr is. Person is tired, they find it difficult to wake up a fajr, but they break the sleep and wake up a fajr. It's cold, they go out as well. They don't want to fast, but they still fast. So whatever difficulty there is in the ta'at of Allah ta'ala, this is also sabr. And the third is as-sabru anil ma'siyah. The sabr that a person undertakes in abstaining and staying away from the disobedience of Allah ta'ala. Because when a person stays away from the disobedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're going to feel pain, grief, or difficulty. It is either a case of do you bear that difficulty or just forget it. I can't handle this. I have to do haram. Because it's difficult for me to stay away from the pain that comes with abstaining from haram. So, to exercise patience at that time, this is also what sabr is. Any of these, whatever category, whichever one of these, includes a person in Allah as-sabirin. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَالْخَاشِعِينَ وَالْخَاشِعَاتِ, from khushu, those who have humbleness. So the humble men and the humble women as well. But this is the quality of a believer, that they are humble, they do not have pride and arrogance in them. And this is, again, these are those qualities which are not just found in men, but are found in women as well. It just shows us just how in suluk and tasawwuf there is the importance of adopting good qualities. And these are those qualities which are the akhlaq-e-hamida, the good qualities that a person needs to implement. So this isn't just for the men folk, it is for the women folk as well. So al-khashi'een wal-khashi'at. And this is those who are humble in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, humble in front of people as well. And khashin, khashi'at also refers towards the person being devoted as well, devoted to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That whatever ibadah they do, the ibadah is also done in the form of devotion to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Where the heart is devoted to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well as the physical body. And this is made easy when there is that humility within a person. And then وَالْمُتَصَدِّقِينَ وَالْمُتَصَدِّقَاتِ, the charitable men and the charitable women. Which shows again, sadaqah is something that men do and sadaqah is something that women do as well. To the extent that Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentions in the hadith, that if a woman does not earn herself, but there is money of the husband in the home, like you may have wherein the husband may leave some money in the house. So look, this is for what the household needs and necessities. And Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentions that woman who spends from there and gives that in sadaqah, but in a correct manner, she also is from one of the two who gives sadaqah. Meaning that although it's not her money, she didn't earn it herself, it's not her own money, it is her husband's money. But she spends from there, but she spends in a manner of ma'roof, meaning it's not a case of she just takes the whole lot and just gives everything, and just gives everything away, spends everything away in charity. No. She spends in a manner in a good manner. Although she has not earned it and although the money is not hers, but she also gets the reward of being one of the two who spends. And the reason for this is that it being the money of the husband, the wife knows as well that she wants that the husband should have as much money as possible. So she may not be so willing in giving sadaqah. She may not be so supportive of her husband giving sadaqah either. So the fact that he or she is supportive of it and she herself gives sadaqah from the money of the home, that makes her also from one of those who give sadaqah as well. وَالصَّائِمِينَ وَالصَّائِمَاتِ, fasting. So the fasting men and the fasting women. وَالْحَافِظِينَ فُرُوجَهُمْ وَالْحَافِظَاتِ, both as well. Not just men and not just women, but Allah Ta'ala says the chaste men and the chaste women. Because just the way men can be immoral, women will be immoral. Just the way men commit such type of sins, when they commit this type of sin, is committed with who? It is committed with a woman after all. So chastity is important for who? For both men and women. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, وَذَاكِرِينَ اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا وَالذَّاكِرَاتِ. And this is a difference here. That Allah Ta'ala does not say وَالذَّاكِرِينَ وَالذَّاكِرَاتِ. With everything else, Allah Ta'ala does say وَالْمُتَصَدِّقِينَ كَثِيرًا وَالْمُتَصَدِّقَاتِ وَالصَّائِمِينَ كَثِيرًا وَالصَّائِمَاتِ. Only here, as with elsewhere in the Qur'an, Allah Ta'ala utilizes the word kaseer, any abundance, with what? With the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it is only the dhikr from the various ahkam or the various qualities and the various ibadat that a person does. It is only with the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah ta'ala has used the word kaseer. اذكر الله ذكرا كثيرا. Remember Allah ta'ala kaseer. Here too Allah ta'ala says وذاكرين الله وذاكرات, and in between kaseera. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the men who remember Allah ta'ala in abundance and the women who remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in abundance as well. As this is that ibadat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala which Allah ta'ala wants us to do abundantly. That's why Allah ta'ala mentions it. That this is something that should be done abundantly. And Allah ta'ala has made it such as well that it is something that can be done abundantly as well. For instance, sa'imin or sa'imat, abundantly that's difficult. If you're going to fast all the time, that's going to be difficult. And mutasaddiqeen wal mutasaddiqat, you can't give sadaqah all the time, you will be left with nothing at all as well. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for various other ibadat, Allah ta'ala there doesn't mention it to be done kathira, but Allah says the dhikr of Allah, remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is in whatever form it is, that is something that should be done all the time. As a riwayat of Muslim Ahmad, Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam was once asked, which mujahid is the best? Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that mujahid who does the dhikr of Allah ta'ala excessively. Then they asked which person, which namazi is best? Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the one who does the dhikr of Allah abundantly. Which haji is best? The one who does the dhikr of Allah abundantly. And the same was mentioned with regards to soul and zakat as well. Now these are those things that a believer, a Muslim should be doing. But along with these, and doing these itself is the dhikr of Allah ta'ala. But aside from this, those who remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala abundantly the most, they are the best from those. So you have, they're all hajis, but who's the best haji? The one who remembers Allah ta'ala more. They're all sort of namazis. Who's the best namazi? The one who remembers Allah ta'ala the most. They're all those who are sa'imin, but who is the best sa'imin? And sa'imat, the one who remembers Allah ta'ala excessively. And for that reason Allah ta'ala has made the dhikr of Allah ta'ala very easy for us. It's not bound to any time. There's no restrictions to it whatsoever. It doesn't have to be a certain time of the day. You don't need to be in a certain state as well. You don't need to be in a certain place as well. You can do it whenever you want. Hence Allah ta'ala mentions kathira. And for all these Allah ta'ala mentions أَعْدَ اللَّهُ لَهُمْ مَغْفِرَةً وَأَجْرًا عَظِيمًا. That Allah ta'ala has prepared forgiveness and an immense reward for them. Meaning all of them who have these qualities in them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created for them maghfirah. For them is maghfirah through these a'mal, these compensate for the wrongs that a person does. And not only that, but there is ajr, and that to ajrun azim. Allah ta'ala has prepared an immense reward for those who have these qualities within them. And Allah Ta'ala began it by saying, what in al-Muslimeen wal-Muslimat. And we are the ones who call ourselves, regard ourselves to be Muslims. Wal-Mu'mineen wal-Mu'minat. So when we are Muslims and Mu'min, then these are all the types of qualities that we should have in our lives as well. And we should then analyze as well, how many of these do we have, how many do we not have? What we have, remain firm upon it, increase more on it. And those which are not found in us, shows that if they are not, then we are not complete believers as Allah Ta'ala wants us to be. Hence we should try our utmost that we develop these qualities within us. Because this is what it is. This is the development of these qualities within us. Not just a person who fasts occasionally is not included in sa'imin or sa'imat. That person who just occasionally has sabr. That person who just occasionally gives sadaqah, who occasionally may have humility. Those are not included in here. These are those people who always have these qualities in them. Then that's when you are called this. That's why the hadith as well, when Nabi mentions that there is a dua called Rayyan. And the Sa'imin will be called from the door of Rayyan. The Muhaddithin mentioned that this refers to who? To those who, not necessarily just those who keep the fast, the first fast, because that you have to. This refers to those who do nafal fast excessively. Otherwise there's nothing exclusive there, because the believer has to do his salah. For us that becomes exclusive, isn't it? But for first is first, you're supposed to be doing it. But then there has to be an extra added fazilat for something. And that added fazilat and virtue is for those who do salat, but nafal salat. They'll be called from that door. Those who do fasting, but the nafal fast. Sadaqah as well, not the zakat, but the nafal sadaqah. They are the ones, these are the added qualities, these added rewards that a person will get for doing these ibadat abundantly. Allah Ta'ala grants the tawfiq and understanding. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين